Welcome to Empire Stories.
Look at the mobile market at the start of the century. One company held absolute control. 2 decades ago, you rarely had a choice in how you communicated. You bought a Nokia. This is the Nokia 3310. It was rugged, it was reliable, almost everyone had one. It functioned like a basic utility, connecting millions of people with a simple, standard physical keypad. Behind these devices operated a massive industrial machine. Nokia built sprawling global factories that produced millions of units every week. They perfected the intricate logistics required to build and ship hardware to every corner of the planet. By 2007, Nokia commanded nearly half the entire global market. They dictated the terms of mobile communication. They built an empire that appeared untouchable. But that size created a vulnerability they didn't see coming. While Nokia had already built early smartphones like the N series, those devices were still designed around physical buttons and menus. This new generation changed the interface. Phones became a single sheet of glass, optimized for software and third-party applications. This change created a sudden vacuum in the market. Apple controlled its own system, but competing manufacturers needed a platform. Enter Android. It was an open-source operating system, meaning it was free for any hardware builder to use. Suddenly, any company could build a computer that fit in a pocket without spending billions on software research. The barrier to entry vanished. A new challenger was about to step into the ring. Nokia saw the change, but they reacted slowly. They were weighed down by their own success. Thousands of executives and endless corporate committees debated every decision, slowing their response to the new competition. Instead of adopting Android, Nokia stuck with Symbian. Symbian was their in-house system, designed for older, physical phones. When forced to handle fluid touchscreens and complex apps, the code fractured. It was incapable of supporting the modern user experience. Why avoid the change? Management feared that adopting a new software system would alienate their hundreds of millions of feature phone customers. They chose to protect their past rather than gamble on the future. This hesitation caused institutional deadlock. While the market moved toward touch and apps, Nokia tried to bridge the gap with hybrid designs. These delays left them months behind the competition. Halfway across the world, Samsung took the opposite path. They operated with ruthless speed, recognizing that software was the most important part of the product. Samsung scrapped their own software. They embraced Android, plugging their manufacturing power straight into Google's ecosystem. Then they experimented at a massive scale. Nokia waited to perfect one device, but Samsung built dozens. They released different screen sizes simultaneously, letting consumers decide what worked. Samsung prioritized market speed. By using Android for the software, they focused all their energy on their core strength, building high-end hardware faster than anyone else on the planet. Samsung's manufacturing power was a massive advantage. They owned the entire supply chain, building their own screens, memory chips, and processors in-house. This led to the Galaxy series. These were high-end devices designed specifically to target Nokia's most profitable customers. They offered larger screens and better specs than anything Nokia was producing. Samsung used their global connections to push these phones into every retail store. They spent billions on advertising to ensure that when customers walked into a shop, Samsung was the first brand they saw. This chart shows the global smartphone market share leading up to 2012. Watch the intersection. Nokia's line is falling as they lose millions of users. The blue line is Samsung, absorbing that share. In 5 years, Samsung went from a follower to the #1 manufacturer in the world. Samsung didn't just win a competition, they effectively replaced Nokia in the consumer mind. By the time Nokia tried to catch up, their position in the new smartphone market had already been entirely seized. Today, Samsung sits at the peak of the global mobile industry. They're the standard for high-end hardware and global distribution. Nokia, the company that once defined the industry, was forced to sell its entire phone division. This story reveals a brutal truth about technology. Size is not a shield. Past success offers no protection when the core interface of a product changes. To survive, a company must be willing to abandon its most successful products before a competitor makes them irrelevant. If you refuse to move, your own history becomes your biggest obstacle. Samsung understood this. Nokia did not. In the economy of innovation, today's leader is always just one slow decision away from becoming tomorrow's cautionary tale.